Welcome to Relationships on Reddit. In this series, we look at posts on Reddit. We'll check out some of the responses. I'll provide some coaching questions for exploration, as I would for a client who is in a similar situation. Then finally, I'll provide my commentary at the end of just me being myself, unfiltered and unadulterated. Hi, I'm Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible. I help professional Black women who are 35 plus date and partner with more self awareness and intentionality. Check out the links in the description box below to sign up for my next 5-day self awareness and dating challenge. Let's jump into the post. Would it be a red flag if a guy that you were talking to online said he lives in a hotel and doesn't have money for gas to come see you? This comes from the Dating Over 40 Reddit. And this Redditor, or the OP, says, I've been talking to this guy and he seems really nice and we are planning on going out, but he told me that he's currently living in a hotel and didn't have the money for gas to come see me this weekend. He said he gets paid this week and we can plan to meet soon. Would this be a red flag for you? On to some of the responses. So, Cold One, Tall One says, occasionally, I feel like I might not be a reasonable fit for someone. Then I read these posts and gain hope. Please, don't settle for this. Full of Sharks responded, for sure. Why do women even consider this an option? And then Who Dat Lady There responded, I think it comes from a place of not wanting to be judgmental. We're often told things like there's more important things than money and don't be a gold digger, etc. Basically, a lot of us have internalized that we're bad in some way if we don't want to be with a guy because he doesn't have money. And I agree, there are more important things than money, but money is important. Personally, I don't need someone who makes a lot of money, but I don't want to spend my life struggling paycheck to paycheck. Glitter and Grape 6028 responded, he has no home and no money for gas. Regardless of why he is in that situation, he is going to have a lot of stressors that could become stressors for you. Taskers responds, be careful dating anyone who has a glaring issue that they should probably devote their energy towards rather than dating. Zeo Maths 2021 they state, hi, his situation doesn't seem right for dating, and you have to ask yourself if you want that stress for you. If he doesn't have cash, it might mean you would have to pay for the dates going forward until he can settle down, or he might ask you for financial help. Please be careful. Now, let's get into some green flags and red flags about this post. Though it was short, it was very insightful. Let's start with some green flags. Number 1, honesty and openness. The fact that the gentleman that OP was speaking to is open about his current living situation and financial constraints indicates a level of honesty. It's often a good sign when someone is willing to share personal details and challenges early in a relationship. Green flag number 2, communication. He communicated his circumstances proactively, rather than making excuses at the last minute or being evasive. Good communication is key in any relationship, and his willingness to discuss difficult topics is a positive sign. Green flag number 3, future planning. Despite the current setback that the gentleman OP is speaking to has, he is talking about future plans, like meeting up once he gets paid. This suggests he is interested in continuing the relationship and is thinking ahead. Green flag number 4, realistic expectations. He's setting realistic expectations about what he can and cannot do at the moment. This level of practicality can be a green flag, as it shows that he's not trying to overpromise and underdeliver. Green flag number 5, niceness and consideration. OP mentioned that the gentleman she's speaking with, he seems really nice. If this is based on her interaction so far, it could be a great indicator that he might be considerate and kind, which are important qualities in a partner. Now let's move to the red flags. So, starting from the top, number 1, instability in living situation. This guy is living in a hotel, and that can sometimes indicate, and likely is a strong indicator, of a lack of stable housing. While this isn't always a negative sign, it can suggest financial or personal instability, which might be a concern in a new relationship, actually in any relationship. Red flag number 2, financial difficulties. Expressing an inability to be able to afford gas can be a red flag, particularly if used as a reason for not meeting in person. It may indicate financial instability or could be a pretext for avoiding face-to-face meeting. We never know. Red flag number 3, a delay in meeting. So in this case, OP is accepting the fact that the gentleman that she's talking to wants to delay meeting until after he gets paid. But in general, if someone is continually postponing meetings in person and cites financial issues or other excuses, it might be a very strong indicator that they're not serious about the relationship, or they might be misleading you about their intentions or identity. Red flag number 4, dependency on future events. Basing plans to meet on future events like receiving a paycheck can be a warning sign. It places the progression of the relationship on uncertain and uncontrollable factors. Then red flag number 5 is asking for money. If the conversation leads to a request for money, i.e. for gas, hotel, other expenses, this is really a significant red flag. Scammers often create emotional stories to solicit financial help and empathy and sympathy from people. So in this case, OP even kind of entertaining a man who is facing some financial challenges right now is a bit concerning. Let's jump into these coaching questions. Remember, take your time, sit with these questions, reflect on them, get a fresh notebook and a pen, and really sort through your thoughts, apply these questions, and answer them from the perspective of the situation being presented in the Reddit post, as well as any situation that is similar to what you have experienced, you've been in, you faced yourself, or even if you've known someone who's been in your situation or the situation as described. Because the point of these questions is to help you grow in your self-awareness and to become more intentional in dating, as well as really spot things that may be off about a potential partner. Question 1. How can someone typically assess the information shared by a potential partner online, and how does this situation align with those criteria? Question 2. What are common initial feelings or instincts about such situations? And what do they reveal about comfort levels with uncertainty or instability in relationships? Question 3. When envisioning a stable and fulfilling relationship, what key qualities and circumstances are often seen as essential? And how does this current scenario measure up to that vision? Question 4. Who in a person's support network can provide a balanced perspective on such situations? And how might their insights help in making a more informed decision? Question 5. Where is the line typically drawn between being understanding / empathetic and protecting one's own emotional well-being in online dating? Progressing as usual, when we do these really fun relationships on Reddit, reflections, I want to give you all my feedback on this situation. So let's get into it. Just my thoughts. Okay, reading this Reddit post and seeing it in the Dating Over 40 Reddit, it was a little disheartening, I have to admit, but not at all surprising. As the one responder stated, basically women have been socialized to not be judgmental and to accept, not look at money as the only thing, etc. Money is not the only thing in life that is important. Hopefully, we are all grown enough to understand that now. However, money is a required, necessary resource in order to engage in many, many facets of life, including anything, well, not anything, but a lot of things from the base level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I always, work with clients in a manner that lets them know anyone who is struggling with those basic things, food, shelter, clothing, housing, anything that they're struggling with, that is not a person that is in a position to be an effective partner to you. They have bigger, much more important survival items to focus on right now. They cannot really dedicate the time to cultivate a relationship with you. And this is also part of a person's personal work. Someone needs to take it upon themselves to ensure that they have financial stability in their lives prior to dating. Dating costs money. That may be a shocker for some people, but dating costs money, and don't ever let anyone convince you otherwise. Dating and courtship is an investment. It's an investment of time, emotion, and money. So in this situation, OP, the original poster, should completely leave this guy alone. He is not in a position, even if she hits it off personality-wise, he is not in a position to effectively date and court her right now, because he needs to focus on his financial stability and, his housing, maybe food insecurity, financial insecurity, all of those things. Another perspective that I always, really emphasize when working with clients is when someone has not done their personal work, and not being able to meet their basic needs is a strong indicator that someone has not started or is not far enough along in their personal work. They are going to try to offload that onto you, and you will always be the bad guy. Don't ever take on someone's personal work. This guy that OP is talking about needs to work on his personal work in terms of financial stability and all those things, but he needs to really figure himself out. He needs to figure out his life. This is not her responsibility. And if she would decide to partner with him, she is going to be used, manipulated, misused, mishandled, probably heavily financially impacted, because he is going to desire access to her resources because they're engaging with one another. She should tell this guy, hey, I understand you are getting your finances together and your stability in life together right now, but you aren't in a place to effectively date me. I don't think that you have to be mean if you come across these, situations. You don't have to be nasty. But what you do need to understand is that someone in this predicament isn't in the place to date you. Just my thoughts. This is an absolute no for me. If she wants to, she can tell the guy no thank you, but wish him best of luck. Or if she, doesn't even want to do that, she should just block him, because it sounds like they've only been communicating through maybe an app and phone. But this is an absolute no. There's nothing about this situation that is saying move forward with this guy. Thank you for joining me today for this edition of Relationships on Reddit. Hotel home, empty tank. Watch this video again. Answer the questions several times. It's okay. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out the links in the description box below to sign up for my next 5-day self-awareness and dating challenge. Also, check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, next season publishing soon on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your coach, Janelle. Stay empowered and see you on the next one.